Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
This is third chapter, 40th verse. Annat bhavanti bhutani
Annat bhavanti bhutani
parjanyad anna sambhavah
parjanyat anna sambhavah
yagyat bhavati parjanyo
yajnat bhavati parjanyo
yagya karma samudbhavah.
yajna karma samudbhavah.
Okay. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, 14th verse. Okay, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vallabh Vidyabhushan, a great commentator on Bhagavad Gita, writes as follows: Ye indradi angatyavasthiti tam yagyam sarveshwaram vishnum abhyarchaya tat-shesham ashnanti tena taddeha-yatram sampadayanti te santah sarveshwarasya yagya purushasya bhakta sarvakil vishair anadi kal vibirthair atmanubhava pratibandhakarer nikhila papair vimuchyante. Oh, Prabhupada didn't give the meaning of this. Interesting. Or he gives. The Supreme Lord, who is known as Yagya Purush, or personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is a master of all demigods who serve him as different limbs of body serves the whole. Demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varun are appointed officers who manage material affairs, and the Vedas direct sacrifices to satisfy these demigods so that they may be pleased to supply air, light, water sufficiently to produce food grains. When Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods who are different limbs of Lord are automatically worshipped. Therefore, there is no need of separate worship of demigods. For this reason, devotees of Lord who are Krishna Consciousness offer food to Krishna and then eat, and a process which nourishes the body spiritually. By such action, not only are past sinful reactions of the body vanquished, or actually Prabhupada is translating this Sanskrit thing. It is translation, that's what I was saying. Sarvakil Vishairanadi Kalve Vidhrai, that's the here. Body becomes immune to all contaminations of material nature, and past sinful actions of body are vanquished. When there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from the attack of such an epidemic. Similarly, food offered to Lord Vishnu and then taken by us makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection. One who is accustomed to this practice is called devotee of Lord. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness who eats only food offered to Krishna can counteract all reactions of material infections, past material infections, which are impediment to progress of self-realization. On the other hand, one who does not do so continues to increase the volume of sinful reactions, and this prepares the next body to resemble hogs and dogs, to suffer the resultant reactions of all sins. Material world is full of contaminations, and one who is immunized by accepting prasadam of the Lord, food offered to Vishnu, is saved from that attack, whereas one who does not do so becomes subjected to contamination. Food grains or vegetables are factually eatables. Human beings eat different kinds of food grains, vegetables, fruits, etc., and animals eat the refuse of food grains and vegetables and grass and plants. Human beings who are accustomed to eating meat and flesh must also depend on production of vegetation in order to eat the animals. Therefore, ultimately, we have to depend on the production of the field and not on the production of big factories. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, Moon, and Sun, etc., and they are all servants of Lord. The Lord can be satisfied by sacrifices. Therefore, one who cannot perform them will find himself in scarcity. This is a law of nature. Yajna, specifically Sankirtan Yajna prescribed for this age, must therefore be performed to save us at least from scarcity of food supply. Interesting purport. Something economic problem Prabhupada is solving here. Okay, let's talk about this. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Litamena Tasmai Shri. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine. Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Vaishnavishtarine. Okay, so whatever it is. Krishna is talking about yagyas, basically, in this verse. So the word is Annat Bhavanti Bhutani. Annat means from food. An means food, basically. Anna means food. Although, generally it means food, although it depends. In South India, if you go, they think wheat is an, rice is not an, according to them.
Rice is an, wheat is nothing.
Yeah, so it's different because if you go to Madhva Sampradaya, they think wheat is an. And, oh, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Rice is an, wheat is not an.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, on Ekadashi, they eat wheat rotis.
Yeah.
It's a little different. And they have the explanation for that. But anyway, that you can define as like that also. But anyway, here, an is used in very general food. Any type of food. It includes food, fruits, vegetables, everything. Anna. So Krishna says, Annat Bhavanti Bhutani. Annat means from food. Bhavanti means they live. Bhavanti means to be. They exist. They exist on what? Who exists? Bhutani. Bhutani means living entities. So living entities exist on food. Simple line, but it's deep because without food we'll die. So it is said food is life in scriptures. So the whole point is you need to eat food, whether you do devotion or you don't do devotion. It doesn't matter. You have to eat food. But the whole problem in eating food is no matter whatever you eat food, you have to kill. Killing is involved. If you eat meat, animals are killed. If you eat vegetables, plants are killed. Killing has to be there. And specifically, when you cook, there is again killing. I mean, just small insects, they die when you're cooking. So there's a lot of killing in eating, but so what do? You stop eating, you will die. Because killing is bad. So people who say that they are vegetarian, isn't they say, okay, we are vegetarian, we don't eat meat, so we don't kill. But actually they are wrong. They're all, actually everybody is non-veg. Even if they are eating vegetables or whatever, they're all non-veg. And everybody is doing violence. Because I mean to say, okay, you can say, okay, so I'll not kill anybody, I'll just eat fruits. So fruits, you're not killing the plant. Most of the fruits. Some fruits you have to kill the plant. Like for example, what's that? Let's see. Yeah, some fruits, they are from roots.
Yeah, so
Carrots and all these roots, so that whole plant is taken out. But most of the fruits are, you just pluck and eat. So you can say, okay, there is no killing, but then there is violence. Plant feels pain. So so one solution is many yogis and Jains, you know Jains, they stop eating. But then they die. That's one thing. If you see Jainism, in the end, when they want to just leave their body, they stop eating. Because they say it produces reactions. We are hurting somebody, no? So if you hurt somebody, you get the reaction back. So they stop eating. Of course, they leave their body like that. But many yogis, they stop eating. They go in trance. You know trance? So by pranayama, by yoga, they go in trance. So that's why they stop eating, and so they are free of all sinful reactions. But the whole point is 99.99% people cannot do that. So what to do? What's the solution? Until unless you kill and you harm somebody, you will be born again in this material world. Because the reactions will come. You have to come back. So Krishna gives a solution here. That's a solution. Okay, so there has to be some way out. What's the way out? And the way out is Krishna is giving. He says, what you do? Do yajna. Anad bhavanti bhutani yajna. Do yajna. Yajna means? It's there in the paper, you have to see that. There's a word, the shlok.
It's not there.
Shlok is not there.
The shlok is there for plant.
Yeah, you see the shlok, no problem. See the shlok. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanya. Parjanya annat sarva yajna. Yajna bhavati parjanya. Yajna. Let's see, okay. So everybody lives on food. And food comes from where? Parjanya. Parjanya means? Rain. So we get food from rains. Parjanyat anna sambhava. From rain comes anna, food. There's no rain, then there's no food. As simple as that. I mean, so you can do artificial agriculture and all this, but still you need rain. Water, even water harvesting, you need rain. Otherwise rivers will dry up. Without rain, you can't do anything. But here's the question. How does rain come? That's the most important question. So Krishna says, Yagyat bhavati parjanya. Yagyat means from yagya. Bhavati means happens. Rain, parjanya. And that's the whole point. So you see the point. Modern understanding, we don't know why rain happens. We know the process. Okay, sun comes, then water evaporates and rain. But then the whole point is, if that's a process, then why doesn't it happen all the year round? Because sun is there, water is there, so why it doesn't happen? There's a particular period in that rains happen. You can give some explanation, but exactly nobody knows. Weather department, see that Swaha, they do sacrifices, all those things. In previous ages they used to do. In previous ages, every householder had to do Pancha Yajna. The system. All Brahmanas, they were doing yajnas in their home. I don't know, you have seen?
Yeah.
You've seen? Yeah. They have to do, it's compulsory. Householders, it's compulsory to do yajna morning and evening. And specifically, that yajna fire should not extinguish. That was also the system. So it keeps on going and they do yajnas. So everybody is doing yajnas. So by yajnas, Krishna is pleased. And all demigods are pleased. If Krishna is pleased, Indra, Vayu, they are pleased. And if they are pleased, then automatically there is rain, because the god of rain is Indra. As simple as that. But the whole point is, okay, you might say, in India there are so many floods. There's so much rain now. Everywhere there is flood. So is Indra happy? There is excess rain now. So excess blessings of Indra. Actually, that's not the point. There is rain, but at appropriate time. That's the whole point. If you do yajnas, when you do farming, you have particular time of crops, and just after sowing the crops, you need rain. Otherwise, if there's excess rain, the crops become bad. There's no rain, still they become bad. So that's the job of Indra, to give rains at proper time and proper amount. And that's called Yagyat Bhavati Parjanyo. And then what happens is, when there's rain, there is food, you eat food. Yajna karma samudbhava. Now that's the whole point. Krishna brings a point. Now there's food and you do yajna, gods become satisfied, and then you get food, and you offer this food again in yajna, offering food to gods. And then when you take those food, karma samudbhava. All your sinful reactions are karma, they are destroyed. That's all Prabhupada says. Karma samudbhava. Yajna is born of prescribed duties. So you're doing your duties, prescribed duties. What's the most main prescribed duty for anybody? It's to offer everything to God. That's the main element of prescribed duties. Whether Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever you do, you have to offer to God. So whatever you eat, you offer to God. And what happens by offering to God? All the sinful reactions are destroyed. So you see there's a logic there. So the logic is that's now the logic completes there. So the point is, whatever we are eating, it's involving killing, and killing is sinful. So if you are doing sins, you are still in birth, that is old age. So what you do is, best thing is, whatever food you get, you do yajna. Yajna means sacrifice, or in other words, you sacrifice your selfishness and offer first to God. And when you offer Him, then He will remove all sinful reactions from that food. How He does, He knows. You will not be able to see it. If you do chemical analysis, it will be same. It's not a difference. But He will remove all sinful reactions, and that's it. You can eat nicely. What's happening there?
My cousin wanted to see.
Oh, you can take a stand. He has a different stand. He has a stand there.
No, just for 10 minutes.
Okay. So that's the whole point there. You see, it's a nice words. So the whole point Krishna is bringing of yajna. Now I'll tell you. Now this purport, there are some points, and I'll tell you here. You can see the purport, and I'll tell you here. Okay. You understand the theme? I was explaining you the theme. So offering is important, isn't it?
Yes.
If you don't offer, you are getting involved in. Even if you are vegetarian, even if you are vegan, it doesn't help you. Doesn't help you much. It is, of course, it is better than eating meat, but still you are involved in. So that's what Prabhupada said, that we are not non-vegetarian, we are not vegetarian. We are what? Krishnatarian. Prabhupada used to say, we offer and eat. That's the system. So okay, what does Prabhupada say? Prabhupada says, Sri Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, a great commentator on Bhagavad Gita. Can you tell me who is Bhaktivedanta Bhushan? You might be knowing. So, who is that?
He was the one who went to Jaipur for that.
Whose disciple? That's what I'm asking. Okay, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And his disciple was? He should also have some disciple, no? In the parampara he is there. Who comes after him? Thakur. Sanatana Das Thakur. Just see. Oh, you don't have Gita. Okay. Forget it. It's a homework for you, but I know. But anyway. It's there. Okay, Bhaktivedanta Bhushan is connected to Jagannath Das Babaji. One of the disciples of disciple was Jagannath Das Babaji of Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, and his guru was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So he was a big philosopher, Bhaktivedanta Bhushan. Actually, he wrote many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, on Upanishads, on Vedanta Sutra. His Prabhupada's commentary on Bhagavad Gita is called As It Is. See? And his commentary is called on Bhagavad Gita? No, that's on Vedanta Sutra. So his commentary on Bhagavad Gita is, I just forgot. But Prabhupada dedicates this commentary on to Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, by the way. So Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, initially he was from Madhva Sampradaya. You know Madhva Sampradaya, no? South Indian. Then he switched over to Gaudiya Sampradaya. He came because he saw that Gaudiya Sampradaya, the philosophical depth is very great, very much. And then he wrote these commentaries. So what he's writing, Prabhupada says here, you see Prabhupada says, now we are reading English. The source is Yajna Purush. Why Yajna Purush? Because Purush means enjoyer. Purush means enjoyer. Paurush. From Purush words come Paurush. Paurush, you understand? In English we say manly. He's a manly person, so there's power. So enjoyer. And Yajna means sacrifice. So why is called Yajna Purush? Because whatever sacrifices you do, or whatever you do, if there is sacrifice involved, he'll accept. If there's no sacrifice involved, he'll not accept. Now that's the whole point there. That's why there's a verse in 5th chapter, last verse, Bhoktaram 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪. Now, there in the commentator says, Bhoktaram means he enjoys, Purusha. What he enjoys? Tapasya. Which kind of tapasya? Yajna tapasam. A tapasya where there is sacrifice. Now, this is very important. Then he becomes happy. Now, suppose if you are going to temple daily, people go, no? In Mooresville there is a temple, there should be a temple. Come on. Okay, there's no temple. Okay, we have a temple here. So many Hindus go to temple and they just go and come back on Saturdays, some holidays somewhere. Whenever they get time, they go. So will Krishna become happy or not? I'm just asking.
It depends actually how they are going. And in the way of going also they need to pray. In every activity, if you see Krishna,
Will he become happy or not?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Because at least they are giving the time to go to the temple.
Okay, now here's a point. They are actually not sacrificing their time. Whenever the time they go. It's not a sacrifice. It's not special they are taking out time. Okay, in weekends, let's go, they'll be outing also. And let's go, but if this important work, we'll not go. It's like that, isn't it? Chalo, ghum ke aa gaye. So there's not much element of sacrifice involved. Sacrifice happens when you're specifically going. Okay, fine. I have this important work today, but okay, fine. I'll take out specific time and I must go. So you're sacrificing your important work for going. There's a sacrifice. And that is why these people who go to Hindu temple, that's better than not going, but God is not happy. That's why one of the name is Yajna Purush. He is just seeing how much you sacrifice. And then people go, and what they do? Then they give some money. Here they give some money. They put Hindu temples.
Yeah,
They put, okay, that system is there. Okay, they might give $1, $2, $5, whatever. But then is God happy? Krishna is happy? No. Because you're not sacrificing. $1, $5 you give to beggars.
But again, all those funds are used for the service of the God. Right?
That's okay. But that's fine. That is their credit. That's not your credit. See, the point is, Krishna is seeing how much you're sacrificing. You sacrifice your rich. You don't give them $1, $5. You spend your money on them. So you spend your money on God. That is sacrifice. You don't just throw some money and come back. So then Krishna is not happy. Okay, he is okay with you. At least you're coming. That's fine. But the whole point of devotion is to make him happy. We are not worshipping God. We want to love him. That's the whole point. And from worship perspective, it's okay. If you're ordinary worshipper, you go, come back, and you give some money. So some mercy you will get, no problem, something. But that's not our aim. Our aim is to do devotion and love him. And like this, you can't love it. You can't develop love. It's impossible. That is why Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He enjoys everything. He enjoys your tapasya. Okay, you're doing something. You're riding from here, going to temple, giving some money. But he's really interested in seeing how much sacrifice you're doing. For example, I'll tell you. There is, suppose if you help your relative. Suppose your relative in a lot of problem. And you help him. Okay, and suppose I say, suppose if you help somebody, there are 100 points. Helping, suppose if you take helping, so I give 100 points to helping. So if you help your relatives, how many points you get? And mind you, I meant to say, you're helping with a lot of concern. It's not like, how many points you get? In comparison to a person, suppose you're helping your friend, how many points you get?
More.
And suppose you are helping some unknown person, how many points you get? Yeah. So if you're helping your relative, you might get 10 points. I'm just randomly speaking. If you're helping your friend, you might get 30. If you're helping an unknown person, then definitely you will get like good number of points, 80, 90. If you're helping your children, maybe 2-3 points, nothing. Why is like that? Why there are different credits for the same action?
That's duty, or like
Sacrifice.
Yeah, the more selfless it becomes,
selfish.
the more points you get. So selflessness, to be selfless, you need to sacrifice your ego. I mean, to be selfless, you have to really sacrifice. I mean, for children, for relatives, you have attachment. So naturally you will do. But for unknown person, nobody does. So you have to sacrifice your maybe sense of insecurity. Unknown person, if I help, then what will happen, what he'll do, what happens, all those things. And especially your ego, I mean to say, why should I help anybody? Why should I help somebody? Okay, apne log to apne yahan. And now there's a point there. So the less, so you see that point. So you have to sacrifice. Krishna is seeing the sacrifice there. So if you're giving $5, okay, that's not really sacrifice. If you're giving more in God's service, then that's sacrifice. Okay, you have, but you are engaging money. So suppose somebody is engaging his money in the service of God. If he's engaging 10%, he gets more credit. If he engages 30%, he gets more. If he gets 50%, he gets more credit. He sacrificed. He could have used for himself, but he's giving others. Helping your relatives and your friends is you're helping yourself, because you like them. Helping your children is helping yourself, basically. So in that sense, you're not helping anybody. That's why you get less credits. Helping unknown person, it means you're helping others. Definitely you're helping others. So you get more credits. So that's how system works. That's how laws of nature works. That's why Krishna is called Yajna Purush. He is not called Purush. Yajna Purush. He's just seeing how much sacrifice you are doing. You might be offering food to him. Daily we offer food, and that's very nice. I just told you, without offering food, you are eating sins. So you offer, but then he sees your sacrifice, what you're doing. So suppose you are vegetarian and you're offering food to God, and God doesn't take non-veg, right? He doesn't take meat. I mean to say, except Kali. If you go to India, she might accept meat, but Krishna doesn't. So okay, you're vegetarian before coming to Krishna consciousness, and now you prepare a meal and offer to God. Will you be happy? Definitely, I mean to say, because you're doing what he wants. Am I right? But at the same time, suppose you used to eat a lot of non-veg, and now you come to ISKCON and now you are offering vegetarian and offering to God, and you left your non-veg. With whom he will be more happy? With the person who sacrificed his addiction to. You see the point there? He's seeing all these things. I mean to say, this doesn't mean you start eating non-veg and then leave it. So Krishna will be more happy. It doesn't say this like that. But he sees all those things, that sacrifice thing. That's why it's called Yajna Purush. So whatever thing you do, there should be some sacrifice involved. Remember that. So suppose if you're in a program and somebody invites like you all, so will give you prasad now, and you sit and eat. Okay, Krishna is happy because you're honoring his prasad. But Krishna will be more happy if you do what? If you first serve others, you sacrifice your hunger and your taste. I mean, you might be feeling a lot of hungry, and you say, no, okay, fine. First, I'll give it to devotees, and then I'll take. So I'll tolerate, no problem. So that's sacrifice, is it? It's sacrifice. So Krishna is very happy. Okay, God, he's doing some sacrifice. So that's the whole point. Any time in life, if you want to advance very quickly, if you want to become dear to God, Krishna is seeing sacrifice. And that is why for householders, charity is there. For householders, the dharma is charity. Charity. Of course, for brahmachari sannyasis, there's no dharma charity because we don't have money. Like we can't. We need money to travel. So for us, dharma is not charity. For us, it's different dharma. I'll tell you what. But for house charity, is their most important dharma is charity, because charity you have to give money, and giving money is a big sacrifice for any householder, because money is sweeter than honey. Isn't it? It's not easy for people to give money. Money is the main thing. That's why you're in America, right? So otherwise, why and people come and people are here for money. So Krishna is seeing charity, and it is said in Prabhupada says in Gita, how much charity any householder should do. What's the scripture say?
50%.
50%.
25% to government.
Yeah. So 50% to God. Here it's for 30%.
Here is 30.
30%. Government takes more. 50% you should give to God. Now why 50%? That's the whole point. Because Krishna wants to see whether you're sacrificing or not. And to give 50%, you should have a heart there. You should have guts. Everybody will. But the person who will do, he'll be very dear to God because he's doing sacrifice. He might have to reduce his desires. He has to sacrifice his desires. If he's giving 50%, he has less money. Come now, I was saying. You'll not be able to buy, or maybe. So you have to live simple life, and then Krishna is happy. So anyway, but minimum 10% is there. If you can't do 50%, minimum 10% quota you should keep aside for service of God. They give devotees, or you do in a preaching program, you distribute Gita, you buy Gita, give to others gifts. Somehow that money should go for preaching, for distribution. Whatever you do, it should be in service of God. Minimum 10%. All scriptures says this. Christianity 10%. Even our Vedic scriptures, minimum 10% is there. Even some Dharma Shastras, they say 50%, it's too much. Okay, fine. Start with 10%. So you can do that. So 10% at least, then Krishna will be happy. Okay, this is sacrifice. If you go to Hindu temple, you give $5. It doesn't go to God, and you also don't get credit. It goes to the pocket of 𝗙𝗪𝗪. That's how it goes. So yeah, you have to, I mean to say, of course, you can give some money to saints. That's okay, and $20. But 10% of your income you should put aside for service of God. Then you have to decide how to engage it. That's up to you. You can buy a lot of Gitas, distribute it, give gifts. That's a good idea, isn't it? There's so many functions. Or you can do program like this, host a program, then you prepare a feast for people. That's okay. You need money for that. So like that's something. So he's Yajna Purush. He demands sacrifice from us. And in return, he will give blessings. So, okay, here's the question. Why does he want us to sacrifice? Why does he want that? Why he wants to torture us or what? Why he wants sacrifice? Krishna says one more verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyame Bhaktaya Pracharidatam Bhakti Vikasa Swami. Krishna says, if you simply offer me fruit, a leaf, some water, with devotion, I will accept and I'll be happy. That's also the verse. So you can say, forget Prabhuji's sacrifice, we'll follow that verse. Offer some fruit and water, and that's what you are saying. But the whole point is, that verse Krishna says that if you don't have anything, then at least you can offer this. See, even if you don't have anything, you can offer water. Water you will get everywhere. Fruit you will get everywhere. Leaf you will get everywhere. Patram Pushpam Phalam. These things are available everywhere. So Krishna in that verse is not saying that you simply offer me fruit and water, I'll be happy. Krishna is saying, see, my devotion is very easy. Even if you don't have anything, still you can do devotion. That's the whole point there. It's not that you keep on offering some simple thing. And just like in India, if you go, many people have that Laddu Gopal. You know Laddu Gopal, South Indians?
Yes.
How do you know? There is no Laddu Gopal in South India.
Many people they get through family.
Oh, now they get, huh? In South India also?
Yeah.
Oh, really? South India?
Because Guruvayur temple, that's the
Acha.
in the crawling.
The crawl. Okay. Yeah. Unni Krishna.
Yeah.
Unni. So there, okay, fine. So they had Laddu Gopal. In North India specifically, they don't offer him food and everything. They just offer him butter and mishri. And subah sham bas ho gaya. That's it. That's what they do. So, is Krishna happy? No. Because you are eating so opulent food and you're giving only makhan and mishri. What you are doing? Oh, Bhagwan ko makhan laga. See, the point is, he is not seeing what you are giving him. He is seeing how you are giving him. That's what he's saying. Heart, I don't want to use this word heart. It's an abstract word. Every female says, I have a heart and I'm doing with heart. Isn't it? So that answer is okay, but in the modern context, he is seeing how you're offering, how much sacrifice you're doing. Oh God. So the other way around. You should offer opulent dishes to God and take simple yourself, rather than offering simple to Krishna and taking opulent yourself. Then I mean to say, in spite of becoming happy, he can become really angry also after some time. What's happening? Why did you bring me? Otherwise, don't invite me. That's all. Don't invite me. But you invited me and you are treating me like this. This is crap. So yeah, Trump is not unhappy with you. He's okay. But if you invite him and if you treat him badly, then you get it. So God is not unhappy, but if you bring and you do all these things. So you see, that's how you have to judge. So if you're chanting God's name, will he be happy?
Yeah.
Just think about it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Allocating the time for him.
Yeah, you're sacrificing your time. You're taking out some time because you're so busy. Suppose if you have no job and you're free whole day and still you're chanting one round. Chalo ek mala kar lete hain. Will he be happy?
He should be happy because no one is idle. Even though at home we'll have a lot of chores.
No. No, I mean to say, if suppose you are in home and you don't have anything to do and you're like, I mean, you're free.
You
And
need to say free time, Prabhuji.
yeah, you're free. You have a lot of free
might
time.
chant.
But if you're chanting just one round and rest of the time, yeah, you're doing something, I don't know what, then he might not become happy because he might say, see, a lot of time, but still you're chanting some one round and then you are doing all kind of crazy stuff, and so then he might not become really happy. He might be happy, he might be angry also. It can be both. Emotions are both, just like with your children. You are happy, but if they do something wrong, you are also angry. But you're not really angry like you are hating somebody. But you're really angry. Why are you doing something wrong? But that anger is out of love. Because to improve him. So he might become angry like that. Come on, what are you doing? You have time and still you're not chanting. That's the whole idea. So God, the point is, he expects from us. That's the whole point. He expects for us, like we, like brahmacharis and renunciates, he expects more from us than from you. If in my position, if I don't read Bhagavad Gita, if I don't take knowledge, if I don't give to anybody, and I'm not even chanting properly, then he's not happy with me because I'm not doing what he expects from me. Isn't it? It's all the same thing. See in a company, you have a peon and you have a CEO. CEO? And that company belongs to some maybe some group, and he has a CEO. Now if a peon is just standing on the gate and he's looking, okay, guarding, and that's expected from him, and he gets his salary and the people are happy. But CEO, we expect more. It is not that CEO should also stand and guard who is coming. Hey, come on, your peon is doing the same thing, I'm doing the same thing, and you're happy with him, you're not happy with me, what's happening? CEO can say, he's sitting all day and he's just sitting, and I'll also sit. And you pay me. Why? Why not? Because you have a different expectation from CEO. Got the point? So that's the whole point there. Now, if I start doing like you all, I mean to say, okay, these people are chanting 4 or 5 rounds, I'll also chant 4 or 5. And they have not read Gita, I'll also not read. And there's something. So will God be happy? No, because he expects more from us. So you can do less and I can do more, but God might be equally happy with both of us. Because he doesn't really expect from you all much, because you have normal life. It's not normal. We are also normal life. It's not normal life, but it's like routine life, household life, you have children. Okay, he expects less from you, but at the same time, how much less? Now that's the minimum. That's why he says 10% minimum. Don't go below that. Below that, if you go, then I don't want to see you. That's the limit. Yes. You got my point? So okay, chant. At least if you're in your homes, at least chant 1 round. At least chant some names of Lord. And offer food to me. You can put a photo and offer food, isn't it? At least this much he expects. So he starts becoming happy, and that's the whole idea there. That's why that's 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀. That's why he wants sacrifice from us. Because he expects something. And when we meet his expectations and we sacrifice, we become selfless. A disease of selfishness, he wants to get rid us to get rid of this disease, and the name of the disease is, or in Sanskrit you say aham mameti. Prahlad says I and my, I and my, this, I am great, this is my money, this is my life. So my life is very important, my neighbor's life is not so important. How is that? How did you come to this conclusion? How did you come to this conclusion? It's madness, am I right? It's okay. Your life is equally important, everybody's life is equally important. And but we think our life is more important than, we think like that. We all think like that. My life, my problems are more important and more serious than any other person. So many people meet me and they say, Prabhuji, I have a problem and I'm suffering a lot. And everybody is suffering. So what's the new thing you are telling me? It's not something new. We have also problems. You have also problems. So why you are so unhappy? Why we are all unhappy? If everybody is in a problem, we should be happy. Isn't it? When it happened with you all also, probably. When you were in class, so when results used to come, and somebody used to say you failed, and then you ask your friend, he says I failed. And he says I failed. Then you okay. But you failed. Then you are happy. So that's the whole point. You're in a problem, everybody's in a problem, he's in a problem, she is in a problem, then you should be happy. Why are you so much tensed? There are different kind of problems, but everybody's in a problem. So okay, everybody's in the same boat, no problems. That's what the point is. That's why Krishna says dukkha doshanu darshanam. If you analyze the problems of this material world, you'll become happy. He says that. It might seem counterintuitive, because you say, if I analyze the distress of the whole world, I'll become distressed. No, actually you'll become happy. Because then you will realize that anyway, life is a problem. Everybody's in a problem. It's not that everybody is okay and I'm in a problem. That's the real distress there. But you will find everybody's in a problem. There are different kind of problems, and they're always there. In history there's a problem, future there's a problem. So why am I so distressed? Anyway, there'll be problems, so forget it. That's how it goes. So it's very good to see the problems of this material world. It's very good to analyze that. Krishna says you should do that. You should learn and study this word and see how problematic it is. And now you can do easily by Google. You can just see, you can get information, and it's very nice. And that is why Puranas are talking about history, geography. You see, all Puranas talk about so many subjects. Why? To actually give you a sense that all aspects of life there are problems. There are solutions, but there are problems. That's all. So you understand why Krishna wants us to do sacrifice? Because he wants to get rid us of this disease of selfishness. My life is important. My problems are important more than others. My problems are more problematic than others. It's not like that. If you meet many people, people are in hell. I mean,
but they put it Facebook differently.
Huh? Facebook differently, yeah, that's one thing. Actually, to know everybody's in problem, you have to become saint. Then you will know better than others. People come to when people come to us, is there any good news? No, because definitely they might have come with some problem. As if we are, what's that? क्या कहते हैं उसको?
Wailing wall.
Wailing wall, yeah, wailing wall. You know wailing wall, no, Jerusalem? You don't know Jews. They have a wall. I mean, Jews had a temple, Jerusalem temple, and Romans destroyed it. Like 2000 years back. After 300 years of Christ, that Constantine and before him, Romans came and they destroyed that whole temple. They destroyed. There were 7 walls. They destroyed every rock. One wall was left. It's still there. That's the Jerusalem. So then they hit their head and they weep, and then they desire whatever they do. It's just like that. It's because it's holy. It was a holy temple. So people come to us like, that's why we say we are like wailing wall. Welcome. Prabhuji, this happened. There's no good news. We never hear some good news. I don't know. I never hear that.
Good news are not for you.
Something. So yeah, that's what he wants. He wants to purify us. And purification happens by sacrifice. By sacrifice, you get rid of this selfishness. You get out of yourself, your own things, and then you become happy. Because once you get out of yourself, you become happy. The whole point of distress is we are just within ourselves. And that brings a very narrow perspective to life. And there's so many, and that brings, then you're disconnected with reality, holistic reality, and then you become unhappy. Yes. You're in a box. And then thinking your own ideas, assuming and speculating, and then creating 𝗙𝗃. And you're in a mess. So, it's an important word, isn't it? 𝗙𝗃𝗪ush. It's a very important word. Personal beneficiary of all sacrifice is the master of all demigods who serve him as different limbs of body and serve the whole. Okay, let's go forward. You can read, and I'll take just important point here. Here, you come here. For this reason, you can find this line in the purport. For this reason. Is there?
Yes.
For this reason, the devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna conscious offer food to Krishna and then eat, a process which nourishes the body spiritually. Prabhupada says, if you offer food to Krishna, prasadam will nourish your body spiritually. This is important. It will not just nourish your body with proteins and vitamin B12 and whatever. Nourishes your body spiritually. So you see, if you see what happens when you offer food to God, what happens is food has three components. Every food has three components. One is gross, one is subtle, and one is subtlest. But of course, modern science just deals with the gross thing. Now, gross part of food is a component of the food. Dal, sabji, roti, whatever the component is there, wheat, and that has chemicals like proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, fats, whatever. So that's a gross part, which they talk about. And when, okay, this has this much proteins. You take any packet, proteins, this, carbohydrates, 0, fat, 0, so whatever, they give a list. But there's a second part to food that is subtle, which we don't see. And that part is pranas. Pran. Pranas, how do we, life force? So there's a life force in the food. And now that they don't say on the list. So if you take any product from America, from storage, and if you want to put that word life force, it will be 0. because once you store the food, after some time it becomes dead. Pranas are gone. In darkness, in cold, when you store, it is gone. And that, and we all feel that. I mean to say, you see, so if you eat some fruit which is stored in comparison to food which is fresh from the farm, there's a difference of taste, isn't it? And difference of freshness, not just taste. Have you eaten that or what? You're dead or what? What's happening? I mean to say, if you think about that, you feel nice, but you're just seeing. You're not eaten then. What you're doing? If you eat directly from the plant there, you just pluck. There's a different kind of freshness rather than if you take off from all these storages, and the taste, the freshness is gone. That freshness depends on the life force, prana. So they are gone, finished. So that's the subtle part. And the subtlest part is a consciousness in the food. So whoever handles the food, whoever prepares, whoever keeps, their consciousness will go in the food. So all these products, they should have these two more things, prana and consciousness. I don't do that. So prana is 0 and consciousness is negative. That we can safely brand it like that. It's negative, all bad thoughts, because people are handling food not for charity, for money, for business. There's a self-interest in that. So the consciousness is bad in that. So of course, and that's why I mean to say, yeah. So what happens? So when you eat food, it's not just the gross part will make your body. Flesh, blood, bones, marrow, bone marrow, and semen, oja. That is made by gross part. Okay. Subtle part, this part, pranas, that will strengthen your life force, pranas, which will actually keep your mind fresh. And that is why if you don't take fresh food, I mean to say, you can heat it and you can do whatever you want, but your mind becomes dull. Your mind is not fresh. Your mind is not subtle to capture subtle reality. It's not fresh in that sense. So you're lazy. You see, most of the Americans, they have this chronic fatigue syndrome. You know this? Oh, you're a doctor, so you understand what I'm saying. They have this chronic fatigue syndrome. They look big, but inside they are very messed up. Inside they are all messed up. So they're always tired and this and that. So most of these Americans, they keep on eating this paracetamol and whatever, aspirin for headaches. They just they look good, but they are not. From inside, they are not. She might be knowing. So why? Because they are eating all these kind of foodstuffs which is dead. They can eat more and more, and they can eat pills and this much proteins and this, and they will have Apple Watch. We can track how many protein and this. Actually, it's crap. What do you do with Apple Watch? Their whole system is lacking. Science is lacking that thing. And the subtlest part is consciousness. Now, if you eat that food which is handled by a company which is always in self-interest and exploiting people, you get these kind of thoughts. But anyway, I mean, they don't care because they don't need purity. They actually want impurity to enjoy and to do sinful things. So that's okay with that. But as a gentleman, we don't want that. So there's a problem there. Now what happens when so that's why Krishna says, anyway, you have to buy food from the store, from Walmart or somewhere. You can't always get fresh. Unless you're in a farm. So anyway, you have to do that. And about pranas, it's all fridge. In America, it's all finished. So what do? Krishna says, okay, offer this to me. Offer it to me. Offer this to me. So if you offer to me, I will put my freshness into this. That's what Krishna does. And I will remove all the negative consciousness from the food. I will remove it. And when you will eat, you will be nourished. Body will be nourished spiritually. That's the whole point there. Body is nourished spiritually. Your mind becomes fresh. Your consciousness becomes positive. And of course, your body gets gross part. You get nourishment, whatever. So that's why offering to God is very nice. So then it's a holistic thing. And that's why devotees of God, they always offer food and they eat. That's how it goes. It benefits us. God is not saying offer to me because it's benefit me. Benefits us. And then also it helps to get rid of selfishness. Because now we are not buying food and preparing food for ourselves. When we are making, then we are making for whom? That consciousness is there, no? For God. Otherwise, you're preparing for yourself. It's not good. Actually, this whole American system is, it's not good system. Because you see there's a kitchen and there's a dining table. You make and give. You see, it's funny because they have assumed, to say this whole house is designed on basis of selfishness. Yeah, it's like that. They want to make you fully selfish. As soon as you prepare, you give. But if you go in Vedic times, it was designed on the concept of selflessness, because kitchen was there and nobody was even allowed to enter the kitchen. You go there, you have to take bath and go. So the whole consciousness is different, and then the food will come out, it will be transferred to different vessels, and then it will come, and the whole eating area was different. So even if you want to be selfish, you cannot be. It restricts you. Previously in India it was like that, but I think 10-20 years back they started making homes. No, not like this. Before this there was a kitchen, there was a window. They put a window so that you make and give from window. So that selfishness started coming from window. You don't have to do. And now it's like same. No, even before that, then they came up, then first window, then half wall was there. And now they even removed the wall. You forget it, just come. Probably after some time they'll even make toilet here with this. You make, eat, go to toilet, make, eat, go to toilet, and that's they can do. They can do that. Because their whole aim is to become more selfish. That's the concept is this. Because according to them, selfish person is a smart person. Alright? If you're selfish, you can be smart and you can earn more money, you can be the first, people put behind. So according to them, selfishness is good. Alright? That's what they call. We call it selfishness, but they call it smart person. Americans are very, very, very smart in using, euphemisms. You know euphemism? Euphemism, okay. Euphemism is something bad thing, some for something bad, you use something good word. So it doesn't look bad. Like that. Like for toilet, you use restroom. So when I first came to America in the airport, I was asking toilet. So what they were saying. So they showed me that it is there. They understood. But then I told it is restroom. What will I do there? How will I? Where is toilet? So I was confused. So I asked 2-3 people, where is toilet? They say there. I can't understand. Then I told, let me check out. Then I went inside. So okay, it's toilet. But so that's called euphemism. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. Oh, toilet is not good. One of the devotees, so he was with my spiritual master, Bhakti Vikasa Maharaj. And he told Maharaj, I want to go to restroom. So Maharaj says, what? You simply say, I want to go to pass shit. That's all. Why you want to use euphemism, restroom? And because if you say, you know what happens? If you say it's a restroom, what happens is you might say, okay, how does it matter? But it matters because if you start saying restroom, then what happens is you will start spending more time there. Because it's restroom. It'll happen.
They have magazines and everything.
Yeah. So, so in Europe, what happened is, because they started calling restroom. So in Europe, so if you go to Czech, Poland, Slovenia, all these Netherlands, in their bathrooms they have bed. They have bed. I saw that they have bed, and their bathrooms, and then they have all their makeup things, and their small kitchen also, because if they want to make a tea and drink, because it's restroom, it can go to any extent, because you have changed the concept. It's no longer bad for you. And then you are in bathroom for 2 hours and doing whatever. But in India, it is called pakhana. That's all. And do your stuff, come, it's bad to waste time. You tend to save time that way. Because it's not a good place. So that's called euphemism. Using good words for bad things. But why I'm telling this? What's happening?
You went from
Smart.
dining to
Smart.
Smart, yeah. They called selfishness as smart person. That's the whole point there. The whole values change by using wrong words. That's why language is very important. What you speak, that you become. That's the whole point. What you think, that you speak. What you speak, that you behave. What you behave, that you become. What you become, that will decide what will happen to you in future. Well, that's how you deal. So, selfishness is bad. That's the whole idea there. So, and that's why preaching is becoming more difficult, because when you tell people about selfishness, they don't feel it is bad. You see, they don't feel, I tried to explain to some young people. They say, well, it's not wrong. We want to advance and we are thinking about ourselves. What's so problem in that? They don't really get this point of. I mean to say specifically, if you want to explain to youths that especially lust is bad, I don't think so you'll be able to explain, am I right, to Americans? All this dating stuff and it's bad. They'll not get it. They'll not feel it's bad. But by our culture, we know it's not good. Now you can argue why it's not good, but it's not good. Why it's not good? Because it is absorbing. The more you do these things, the more we call it as sinful activities. Am I right? The more you do these things, you'll be more absorbed in bodily concept of life. You're more thinking of body and of oneself. And the more you're thinking of body and selfishness, the more you're disconnected with God. And that's our Vedic scriptures. That's the aim, God. These are atheistic societies, so they don't. So that's called euphemism. Euphemism. You can read some book on euphemism. It's very interesting. How to make bad things look good. It's very interesting. And if you read, it's quite a good topic. And you'll see how civilization and these people are working. Just like for example, this person in MBAs, they call this person sales manager. And what he's doing? He's going to door and he's showing his product. According to us, he's ready wala. He's just they call him sales manager, but actually he is a what in Telugu kya kahenge? Ready wala. Well, they sell in previous times they used to come on that and they used to shout. Ye le lo, take this, take that. I don't know. In South India, it used to happen. Hawkers. So it's a big sales manager. But yeah, you are simply you are the hawker. That's all. You're selling. You're going from door to door. What you are. So this is called euphemism. So these corporates use a lot to give you a false sense of feeling that I'm. Oh, actually, So Maharaj was telling once. So one person met him, and Maharaj asked, "What do you do?" So he said, "You know what? I am a electronic washing device mechanic." And Maharaj said, "What do you do exactly?" He says, "Actually, I repair toilets." That looks good. Washing device. What's that? Electronic mechanic something. Oh, yeah, I'm something, What's a big thing? And that's what the problem with Americans. They say, actually that's the whole problem. They say give respect to others, but the whole system of giving respect is to create euphemism and create a false sense of feeling that he is respectful, but from under table they'll exploit people. That's what is happening. That's the whole game they are playing, cheaters and the cheated. That's what Prabhupada. So if you read Gita, you will understand everything. See, this book is not just for understanding God. It will help you to understand everything around you. That's why we say read Gita. It's not a religious book, by the way. It's a book of life. You will understand exactly what is happening. So, Machiavellians. You know Machiavellians? Well, you go and read Machiavellians. Cunning people. The most cunning man there was a person, Machiavellian. He was the most cunning man ever lived in history. He used to exploit people by euphemisms. And then, so on his name, there's concept of Machiavellian. You go and read about him, you will know. Okay, so that's what it goes, your body spiritually. But such actions, okay, fine. So you got my point. So Prabhupada gives example of antiseptic vaccine. When there's an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from attacks of such epidemics. Similarly, if you eat food offered to Vishnu, then it makes sufficiently resistance to material affection or material infection. One who is accustomed to this practice is called devotee of Lord. If you want to really become devotee, please offer food and eat. It's not necessary to make a big temple, no problem. You can keep a small photo in your house. Make food, anyway you'll make food. Keep a different plate for God, put food, offer it, put 𝗙𝗪𝗓, mix it and give to others. That's a big thing. I mean to say, it's not necessary even to tell tell others in your family. There might be so many relatives and don't tell. Just do your stuff. That at least you should do because it will help you a lot. So okay, so that's what is this is about. And the last line, Yajna, specifically Sankirtan Yajna, is prescribed for this age. So the best sacrifice you can do is Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan Yajna means chanting the holy names. Okay, tell me, why chanting of holy names is the best sacrifice? What are you sacrificing when you're chanting?
Time.
Okay, time, one thing.
Thoughts.
Can you explain in a very practical sense what you're sacrificing?
There will be lots of chit chat, this.
Okay, so you are sacrificing your addiction to chit chat, pracalpa, yeah. That's a good idea. What else? What's the main thing you're sacrificing while chanting?
Ourselves.
Our consciousness.
Emotions.
Our emotions, sacrificing your emotions, yeah. Yeah. Should I give this homework?
No, Prabhu, you're going to.
Just think about it. You have to know that, because that's the most important thing. Because if you chant without sacrifice, this concept, then it doesn't really make Krishna's so happy. He's happy that you're chanting the names, but that sacrifice element has to be there. So if you know this answer, then you will know how to chant. You see?
Please
Yeah, I
explain,
think-
Prabhu.
We are agreeing
I
to
think
a
it is-
supremacy.
It's like you are giving yourself to God, so you are actually giving your how to put it.
Yeah, that's the whole point. How to put it?
How to put it? Yeah. Like basically, you are
That's the whole
praising
point.
taking
Yeah.
His name, so giving yourself to Him.
Okay, fine. I'll put it in the words. When you're chanting, you're sacrificing your false ego.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. That's what the main thing is happening. Because when you're chanting, you have to chant with the concept that I'm nothing. I'm useless. And Krishna is the best. And when Krishna sees this sentiment, okay, because nobody can sacrifice his false ego. Nobody, if you ask anybody to think he's useless, who will think? And they'll kill you for what you're saying. So my thoughts, my ideas, everything is useless. Krishna, you're the best, your ideas are the best. With this concept you chant, you're my master, you are the king of kings, you are the hero.
Materially, how we put positivity to ourselves, right, Prabhu?
What's positivity? I don't understand.
So here, when we, I understand the concept of sacrificing our false ego.
Yeah.
So when we every day put to ourselves like I'm useless.
So what? If you keep on thinking I'm useless, if you only keep on thinking I'm useless, then you'll really become depressed. But we don't do that. We think I'm useless, but Krishna is our hero. So we derive our happiness not by thinking that I am useful, but we derive our happiness that Krishna is the best. That's the source of our happiness. So then you don't become depressed. But there's no God, and if you start thinking I'm useless, then you become a depressed patient. That's the whole point. You go in depression. So both things have to go. Because our happiness is in happiness of Krishna. We derive happiness, just like parents. Some parents are from village. You see many people in America, their parents are from village and they are very poor. But they're very happy that their son is in America and whatever he has become, ABCD. So, although they are very poor and themselves they have no education, nothing. They're very proud and happy. So that sense of pride is there in us, that our master is the best. That sense of pride is there. But people have pride for themselves, you see. But we have pride for our Krishna. We are happy that, yes, he is the best. And he is happy in his spiritual world. And that's all. Then if you chant, then Krishna says, yes, now you're sacrificing your ego, false ego.
Prabhu, I have one question here. At any point of time, we never thought that we are greater than God. We never think that, right? How it is sacrificed.
Well, if you don't think you're greater than God, at least you think you're equal to God.
No, we never think that also, right?
You all think. You don't think, but you act like that. Just like if you ask this child, do you think that you're egoistic? Child will say no. You say, I even don't know what's ego. Whose uncle's name is ego? So he will say like that. But he is egoistic. Every child is egoistic. Why? Because every child wants attention. Every child wants. If you doesn't give attention, it will start crying. They seek attention. That's a prime tendency of a child. And that's ego. Self-attention. But he doesn't know. Neither he understands, but he's doing that. Similarly, we are all behaving egoistically, and we are in so much ignorance that we even don't realize we are egoistic. That's the whole point. We are all acting like God. And that's why we are in a mess. And we all want to achieve something in life, isn't it? And do this and do that and try to become perfect. That's That is how God is. God is perfect. We also want to become perfect. He is the most successful. Okay, we also want to become more successful. He is the enjoyer. I'll be the enjoyer. We are all trying to become God. That's the philosophy there. That's why we are suffering. Do you understand that? That's what is happening. We are in complete ignorance. We don't realize what we are doing. To enjoy this word is like becoming God. The enjoyer is God. You should not feel bad. But we have a conception of ourselves that I am good and there's nothing bad in me. So that's why when somebody says bad about you, you feel bad. Although he might be saying truth. Prabhuji, here's a problem. Come on, because you have a pre-assumption that I don't have any bad things. So who doesn't have any bad things? God. So we are acting like gods, and that's the whole problem. Once you understand we are not God, we are simply small living entities full of defects, all this negativity will go itself. If somebody will speak you bad, no, but you will not feel bad because you are already thinking I'm bad. You already think I'm useless, I'm bad, I'm this fault. Somebody says, Prabhuji, you're bad. Oh, yeah. I already know that, no problem. Go ahead.
One more question. So, is God the whatever God is bad or good? He can do anything, or he is the source of everything, right? Whatever is happening here.
So, what's the question?
So, he should have also bad things.
Yeah, he has all good, he has all bad. But the whole question is, when something bad connects to him, it becomes good. What we see as bad, when it connects to God, it becomes good. So when Krishna steals, it is good. It benefits others. But for us, whatever good we do, it becomes bad. Whatever good connects to us, it becomes bad because ultimately it harms others, because it's all either God is all good, or you can say he has all good and bad, but when bad connects to him, it becomes good. So you can say it two ways. Both are same.
Why actually God has all created us in a day one?
That's the whole point there.
Yeah, why we need to do good, why we need to do bad, like, and the basic question is like, why we actually need to take birth?
Yeah, why you need to take birth? Yeah. So you don't know this? You have taken birth.
That's
so this proves that we are in ignorance.
Yeah,
we are in absolute. We even don't know why we have taken birth. Low.
Yeah.
So you see that at least one point is proved.
Yeah, I'm ignorant.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
At least I'm. Yeah.
So now one thing, nothing happens by chance. First of all,
yes.
At least in Vedic philosophy. In modern times, everything happens by chance. Evolution happens by chance. Big Bang is by chance. Everything is by chance. It's just ulta. Here, everything has a cause and effect. So why there is creation? It's a big question, and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam answers that. Because Prabhupada says in simple term, okay, why government makes jail, prison?
Because there would be bad people in the city.
Yeah, they know there will be bad people. When they plan a city, they plan a prison. Even before city has begun.
Yeah.
Because it is obvious there will be bad person and there will be prisoners. So that's why God created this creation, because he knew that some souls will be bad. They'll be selfish. So where to send them? So all good souls are in spiritual world. See, we are all eternal, first thing. He didn't really create us. We are eternal, God is eternal. First thing you have to understand. But we happen to be here. 75% living are in spiritual world. 25% are here. And they are there with God and they are happy. No problems, no miseries. That's why that's called Vaikuntha. But this is material world. So he sent us here. This is a prison. To reform us. So it's a reforming cell. It's a reform. What do we say? So people who get drug addicts and they wear this. Yeah. So this material world is a rehabilitation center.
Right, Prabhuji, but we did not mistake to come to the jail, right? Which we don't know.
You don't know, but you have done.
Yeah.
That's what the whole point is. You don't know, but you have done a big
How to-
mistake.
How to know that knowledge and how to get that consciousness? Yes, I did this mistake. That's the reason why I'm here. If I know that, right, then I'll work more hard and I'll love more.
So scriptures are telling what mistake you do. Scriptures told what the mistake you did is you don't want to accept what God says, and you want to become God. You want to behave like Him. So He says, okay, go there. That's the mistake we did. We revolted against His laws and His kingdom. So He said, okay, if you don't follow my laws, go to, you're banned from here. Going to, what's that? When people send them out? Exile. You're going on exile. But at the same time, God is so merciful, He doesn't leave you. He could have put you to exile and you could have died. But still He gives all the arrangements and everything. So He thinks, okay, let's send to exile, but then let's reform them. That's a good thing. Because after all, you belong to Him. So He can't really abandon you. So He makes this word, and so it's a rehabilitation center. So there's so many things here. So these things, you can use it to reform yourself, or you can use it to deform yourself. It's up to you.
Probably one last question.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So we are reforming here, right? Once we go back to Vaikuntha, do you know that we did all these things?
Yeah, you'll remember
So that
everything.
will prevent us to come back.
Yeah, you'll remember them. Devarshi Narad, he remembered all his past lives.
But here we forgot all our past.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there we remember.
They remember because after doing devotion, you get liberated. Liberation means you're beyond space and time. There's no constriction of time. So you remember everything, past, present, future. There's no division there. So when you become liberated, you will remember not just this life, all lives starting from creation. But it will be like a dream. That's all.
On the same question. So when we are already were there, like the problem why we came is, if I understand, because we thought like we are God.
Yeah.
Right. So which means like we were there at the garden.
Yeah, we were there. Originally we were
the
there.
same state can come back again also. Right?
Yeah, Krishna says he says Gita, 𝗙𝗂𝗪𝗀𝗀 anivartante. Once you come back, then you will not know more coming back. Because now you know that so many problems.
Okay.
So even if Krishna gives you option, you will not choose it. Just come on here, I'm not going back. It was a messed up. So that's why Krishna says, once you come back, you will not go back. You will not choose that. It's a mess here, so many problems. It's body, disease, old age. It's crazy. It's a complicated world.
Like one more question. So people do this 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗃, right? Like,
Suicide.
And what is your thought on it? In the sense, do they are eager to go back to the God, or what? I mean, they at the end of the day they are leaving the body, right?
No, but they're
The
doing
soul is
suicide
leaving
out
the
of
body.
depression, out of maniacness, out of schizophrenia, whatever. They're doing suicide because of a crazy reason, isn't it?
Prabhuji,
So mostly they become ghosts.
he felt he or she did suicide, but that is the end of their soul here.
No, end of body.
Body.
So they become
He
ghost.
that
They become ghost. They'll
so
become
that
ghost.
Prabhuji, like it's not what I meant to say, that the days end for him or he here.
So
Destiny.
Destiny.
So
But as per rule, he should go back, right?
no, it's not destiny. It's not. Suicide is not written in destiny. Accident is predestined.
Okay.
Disease is predestined. Cancer is predestined. Death is predestined. But suicide you are doing on your own. So suppose in your destiny 80 years was written, and you plan to do suicide now when you're 40 years. So 40 years you'll get a ghost body. You'll be trapped on this earth. And then after 40 years, when your lifespan is finished, then you get another body. It's like that. Suicide is like that. Because you are doing by your free will. And then we have to suffer a lot. Because when you become ghost, then you feel hunger and thirst, but you'll not be able to touch and eat. So you'll be completely messed up as a ghost. That's why ghosts try to enter somebody's body and fulfill their desires. They try to do that. I mean to say, according to Ayurveda, all these psychiatric problems, they're like possessed by ghosts, according to Ayurveda. All this schizophrenia, hallucinations, you keep on hearing voices, maniacness, it's all due to ghost. They possess the body and then they fulfill their desires, and this person is out of control, he's not behaving and he doesn't even remember what's happening. So it's all ghosts.
So Prabhuji, the clients also have soul, right? Like when we get their expiry date. So I mean, though that soul, though we are like doing the sacrifice and praying to God and
so that plant will be
that
benefited.
soul, what will happen to that?
That will benefit. It will be elevated to higher forms because
it's being used for
for God. So it benefits actually. Benefit. That's why your flowers you pluck, you offer to God. The plant benefits. In fact, the plant not benefit. Plant. In fact, all trees and all plants, why they are giving flowers? For God. Only humans are useless people. We are working for ourselves. Whole creation is working for God. That's how it is there. So plants are giving beautiful flowers because they want to glorify Lord and offer them these beautiful flowers. Wind is blowing because wind is happy that God has created me. Sun is coming, sun is giving light because sun is in bliss of devotion. Everybody is doing devotion except us. So actually when we offer flower to God, we are actually we are doing a favor to plant because it has given birth to flowers for God. So it wants that. So God gives you blessings, the plant gives you blessings, the tree. The entire creation gives you blessings. You see, just a simple act of offering flower, you get blessings from entire creation. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. That's the vision of 𝗪𝗏. It's not a simple thing when you're offering flower. So like that. Okay, so I'll just tell one thing and it's done. What are the questions here, by the way? Do you have a questions? No? Just give me. Yes. Okay, just answer me quickly and then we'll finish. What are the advantages of offering food directly to Krishna? Directly? What's the meaning of? Okay, directly. What are the advantages of offering food directly to Krishna?
Sinful reactions will destroy.
Okay, sinful reactions will get destroyed. Body spiritually nourished. All demigods are pleased. And
our
selfishness. That's the main thing. You get free of this disease of selfishness. Okay. How are we dependent on the rains for existence? What is this question?
I think Prabhu, the previous verses speak about worshipping demigod.
No, but what is it? How are we dependent on rains for existence?
Rain will give
Food.
Yeah.
It was simple answer.
No, food and rains because of rains, food is produced.
That's what they're saying. It's a simple question. What is this? How can we free from scarcity of material wants? That Prabhupada says, no? Last line. Yajna specifically, Sankirtan Yajna must therefore be promoted to save us at least from scarcity of food supply. So scarcity of food supply can be solved. Entire words, there's a practical solution. You chant the names of God and scarcity of food is gone. It seems impractical. That's like that. If God is satisfied, the earth will give you food.
Also, if you leave the selfishness, then people
actually that's also one thing. When we do devotion, then we leave selfishness. So people will stop accumulating and all this holding food and go downs and so it will be.
and also they will give more charity.
So nobody will be.
So people will not.
Yeah. Are Devas satisfied more to get offerings directly or do they prefer to have Krishna Prasadam? What do you say about that?
Krishna Prasadam.
Yeah, Shiva, Ganesh, Durga Ji, they all want food offered to Vishnu. That's a system in India. If you go to this 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪 Ujjain?
Yeah,
no?
Nasik.
Nasik, sorry. Nasik, yeah. So if you go there, first, so Trimbakeshwar is Shiva temple, but first they offer to Krishna. Then it goes to, and if you do Shraddh also, and then they will offer, first they offer to Gopal, and you see there's a system. And if you go to even to Alarnath, Bhubaneswar, The Shiva Vishnu together. They also first Vishnu they do.
Probably in South India, there are traditional very many Buddhist temples like Kartikeya, Skanda especially. So I've heard that the food that's offered to the gods and goddesses, they have shalagram nearby. First they offer.
Actually. First they offer to Shaligram and then, you're right. Everywhere. First Vishnu is there. So they want prasad of Vishnu. What is the correct method to satisfy them? What is the correct method to satisfy demigods? Satisfy Krishna. Everybody can still satisfy. Okay, so these are pretty simple questions. Okay, so we'll stop here. I'll just have to tell you something and two maybe books thing. Okay, I just want to tell and for them also. It's not like that, it will go afterwards. I have some pen drives because you're new, I think. These are pen drives of my lectures. I have spoken on entire Gita. Can you just sit? Just sit. So you can, I've spoken on entire Gita and Bhagavatam. Basically scientifically and logically, I try to explain everything scientifically, logically. So you can, there are 400 hours of lectures, 8 hours of video. You can put in your car. You have this? Yes. We gave you, no? Yes. So you can live in car and in a house. So many doubts, just like your question. So all these doubts will be solved. Vidyate de granthi chidhyante sarva samshaya. When the doubts are solved, then your goal is clear. When your goal is clear, your way is clear. When your way is clear, then you're determined and you can advance nicely. So if you want this pen drive, you can have it here. I can give you. If you don't have a cash, I can swipe also. This I have to give to you, isn't it? Only last copies. Yeah, so we keep them for $100. So this is one book, Crazy Ideas. Whatever questions you have, answers are here. Whatever. Ghost, all this suicide, creation stuff, food, these 3 parts of food and health and spirituality, everything I compile into one book because people have questions, they keep on asking and they can't keep on researching things, isn't it? But the whole part is in this book, I gave answers not from just Prabhupada books, but from Bible, from Quran, from philosophy, from theosophy, so that you are on the right track. It's not a sectarian thing that we are speaking. It's a universal phenomena. So that's why this book, if you read, you will be convinced and you can also answer others properly. Otherwise, you will be answering some in a fanatic way. Oh, Gita says this. You have to accept why. You can't speak like that when you speak to people. Okay, and this is one book. This will help you. Science fails to explain life. Your children might be asking you, isn't it, when they'll ask, okay, life comes from organic molecules. Then you're saying, what is organic? It is sabji or what? You have no idea. I mean, from engineering background, you might not have any idea of science. And then they say, Papa he's foolish. So you should know, what they're teaching. They're teaching many things wrong in the school, by the way. Life comes from life. Doesn't come from soup and all these things. So I have written this book in simple terms, how scientists fail to explain life. Basically, a lot about genetics, because they are talking about genes and how genetic theory was formed in simple words, so that you know exactly what science is talking, and then refutation. What is a Vedic alternative for that? So these books are there. You can have these books and pen drive if you want. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna, 𝗙 Prabhupada ki Jai. We'll stop. Okay, bhai.